put these webinars together for us so we can share information and present to our stakeholders. It's hugely important and helps everyone stay in the same book. I heard recently, everyone needs to be in the same book, even if they're not on the same chapter, which I loved that. So good afternoon, everyone. This is the UDAT Lunch and Learn for September 13th, 2022. And we are going to do part 2 of our assistive technology remote support services today. An outline for a little bit of today is we're going to start with an overview of what remote support systems are, how to utilize the AT service for remote supports, and some of our DMHDD contracted providers. Remote supports are a great way for individuals to receive the support needed in a way that allows them to build skills, confidence, and independence. Our DMHDD providers work within 2 main systems, those with a response center and those who utilize a dashboard with custom alerts. The response center reviews the system sensors and responds based on the parameters in the ISP, the individualized support plan. These response centers are supported by staff of the remote support agency. The dashboard and custom alerts work the same. However, the respondent can be either paid or unpaid supports. Both systems also require a second responder who must be able to reach the individual's home within 20 minutes. This responder is typically a community support provider staff or a natural support. The systems can grow, adapt, and move with the individual. This service is not just limited to one ability level and can be highly customizable. It is available in any ISL or remote natural home setting, including those individuals who participate in the self-directed service program. Since the sensors are always gathering data, remote support systems can find patterns that allow individuals to get proactive support from and share more information with their circle of support, including medical and psychiatric teams. So one of the things we've recently discovered is that some folks who have overnight seizures and utilize a bed sensor, we're finding that they're having more or less seizures than what we thought. So now they can work with their neurologist to get the support they need to ensure their seizures are under control. Please remember A9999 assistive technology codes should always have a modifier. The modifier for remote support system is the GT modifier, and remote supports includes all components of the service, including the initial consultation and any ongoing education and support. Assistive technologies are specific to the individual and will need to be justified in their ISP. Remote supports also require a risk assessment and due process review. The risk assessment tool is available on the DMHDD website and is used to identify any gaps there could be any gaps that could be there that need to be bridged to make the remote supports work better for the individual. When completing the due process review, please ensure that all the sections are accounted for and complete. Assistive technology is not a bidding process. Remote support providers are as unique as our residential and day hab providers, and teams should really review what supports are needed and then choose the provider who best supports the individual's needs and concerns. I'm trying to slow down a little bit so we have time to get our panelists on, and it looks like we have both agencies who are going to be joining us today on board. So we have 7 remote support providers contracted with DMHDD, and the 2 that are joining us today are Safe and Home and Smart Care. 2 providers who are not able to join us today are Together Tech and Rest Assured, and additional information about their services can be found on our DMH website on the Technology First page under Assistive Technology Services. And I am dropping that link in the chat for everyone. And Kat, if you wouldn't mind dropping the UDAT email in the chat too, I would appreciate that. I skipped that on an earlier slide. So this is where we're going to end our slideshow and allow our panelists to pull up either their slide deck or to have the floor. So Scott, would you like to go first?
Sure. Second. How do I get my share here?
Kat needs to end our slideshow and then you'll be able to pull up yours. Looks like she's working on it. There we go. And we'll give you the folder. I liked when WebEx had the ball. It was a lot more fun to pass the ball around than it is to pass the folder around. And you should be good to go. There's a share button at the bottom if you're not as familiar with WebEx.
It's asking me to open system preferences after I do that. Not really what I want to do. My name's Scott Mosier. I'm with SmartCare. SmartCare is designed to be a very non-intrusive system. So it's a series of sensors placed throughout the home that the client generally does not even notice that they're there. You're generally little white boxes where we monitor activities of daily living. So your sleeping patterns, your eating patterns, your bathroom patterns, your showering patterns. And it also sends out notifications to whoever needs to get those notifications. And that can be the provider, the neighbor, the family, the guardian, any notification you want. For example, if they have left in the middle of the night, or they left the stove on, or they haven't showered in a few days, or have not taken their medication, or if they took their medication. All of those types of notifications can be set up to go to anybody. They can be set up to go to different people at different times for different shifts. It's an easy to use system. The demo is my.smartcaresystem.com. And the password for that is demo, all small word, and the login is demo, all small letters. What people really like about the system is that not only is it non-intrusive, but there are no wearables required and no cameras required. So the person doesn't have to wear anything. In fact, the person generally doesn't know that the system's there for the most part. It's just monitoring their activities. The other thing that people really like is the report that comes out. It gives you a weekly look at the trends of the person. So is the person sleeping all night? Are they sleeping in every day? Are they going to the bathroom 12 times a night? So it really does a good job of helping the person stay active. It's really designed for someone who is fairly active, fairly independent, really to help them maybe through the night, not have to have someone there. And so that's the goal of SmartCare. My number is 636-485-8365. And you can reach me at scott.mosher, M-O-S-H-E-R, at smartcaresystem.com. Okay.
Thank you, Scott. And for those of you online, Scott, if you want to send me your slides later, we can incorporate them.
Okay.
And then they can be posted with our presentation. So we usually have a recording of the presentation and a recording of the slides. So we can add those slides in. And the web address that I dropped in the chat box earlier, you can see a presentation with Scott in that same location on our DMHDD website, and information about where to find your web address and that demo password as well.
Thank you.
Did you also, Scott, put your the information that you gave, your email address, name, phone number as well in the chat box?
Sure.
Wonderful. All right. Leslie is our provider representative from our other provider being featured today, Safe in Home. So Leslie, would you like to tell us a little bit about Safe at Home services and what makes them unique to our DD services?
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I did not present a PowerPoint. I was just going to talk and show a couple of the devices, but I'm also happy to email a PowerPoint just that gives a little more information. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. But I'm actually, so on the schedule, it said Jared Hendricks. He's our district manager, but he's actually in Washington for the week. So you get me instead. But there's actually 3 representatives in Missouri. It's myself, Kathy Abelson, and then Alex Eggert. So we are all in Missouri. So Safe and Home, we are actually remote support and assistive technology provider. So we are currently in 15 states and still growing. So Safe and Home, we've been around and in different states. So we have 2 support centers, one in Arizona, one in California, and it's 24/7 support. So anyone can reach out to us anytime in the 24 hours, or we also schedule check-ins and we schedule reminders. So we really take a person-centered approach. So what we do is we have a consultation with the individual, the support coordinator, family, whoever wants to be on that consultation, and we look at what that individual needs for support, what the goals they're working on, and then we put together a proposal and a plan that is specific to that person. So our remote support staff, they are trained in provider training, and then they also have to take an ACT training, which is acceptance commitment therapy, and that focuses on behavior. So when someone reaches out to remote support or we reach out to them, they are trained, and sometimes the behavior techniques really, are important. So what we do is we follow the care plan. Like I said, so remote supports will do the check-ins or reminders, but it's really unique to each individual. So I did want to show this. This is just the tablet that we utilize a lot in most cases with remote support. So it's very simple, very user-friendly, easy to use. So the individual can just hit call and they'll be connected to someone with our remote support staff. And typically we try to keep it the same person, especially if we're doing everyday check-ins. But if they call, it's 24/7. So if they call, they might get somebody else if they are calling in. So that's kind of what it looks like. And then when our remote support staff calls them, they just hit the button and then they see our remote support staff. Now for the assistive technology side, we have over 60 devices. So, I mean, I could go over, talk about every device, but it's not really not necessary. Like I said, we look at the individual, and if it's in a case of maybe needing some door window sensors, maybe just checking in, maybe they need medication reminders. So we're going to put together a medication dispenser. We're going to also support them with the calls. So they have their medication dispenser, but we're also calling. So each individual is so unique. So with all the devices and all the assistive technology, we just want to really take that person-centered approach and see what that individual really needs, and then put the devices that are going to support their goals and them. So that consultation is really important to get their needs. And look at each individual person. After we have that consultation and the proposal, and after everything's approved, we have a field technician, a trained field technician, who will go out, install all of the equipment, and educate on how to use all the devices, use the tablet, and the whole entire time the person is on supports, if anything happens, needs updates, our field technician will take care of everything. So a big part of us is the remote support side and just really trying to incorporate that to keep the individual's independence and work on their goals and be able to reach out to somebody, but not having somebody specifically there in the home, but still being able to reach out to somebody at any time. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. A quick little overview. But like I said, I'm happy to send a PowerPoint that kind of goes over everything a little more in depth. I tried to keep this pretty short and sweet, but yeah, I'm always here. Kathy, Alex will answer any questions and we will help with any. But oh, another that I wanted to just show real quick is the Geocom. This is another pretty common device that we use, and this can be used in the community or in the home, but this is able to be on a lanyard or on a belt clip, but it's a two-way audio and you can store 7 numbers in there, but a person's able to reach out to somebody or they're able to reach out to them, and it has GPS location. We have one individual, he goes on walks, he takes his dog on walks a lot. He has gotten turned around, so he was able to call remote support and they could see with the GPS location tracking and they were able to walk him back home. So this can be used for multiple, different uses, but good in the community, and you can wear it if you're a fall risk or if you're worried about falls. Like I said, there's so many different devices you can put in place. It just really depends on the needs and how the goals and support. So that's kind of it for safe and home.
Thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, thanks.
I am really glad that our 2 providers were able to join us today. Like I said, we have more information on our DMH DD web page under our Technology First tab. To answer just a quick question that I saw pop up in the chat box, if the medication dispenser is a standalone equipment not connected to someone's remote support service, that would be under a different assistive technology code. So, for example, we have Pack for You Spencer and Dose Health, which are both standalone medication administration systems, and those are both under our assistive technology A9999UC code. So I'm going to take over the ball here and go to our very last slide. We didn't use as much time as we have in the past on our Lunch and Learn, but it's not our shortest to date either. I think our shortest record time for UDAT Lunch and Learn was about 7 minutes long. And that was when we were still first really new. So I'm going to share this last one with you guys. Turn on enter mode here. Oh, it started back at the beginning again.
While she's doing that, there was a question. We have one question that popped up while you're trying to find that. We'll go ahead and read it. It says, do the devices come with a data plan built in? Also, can you talk about how you coordinate other providers in the home?
So our remote support providers typically use 2 different services. Either it's cellular service, which doesn't require a data plan or Wi-Fi, or it's Wi-Fi enabled. For those who have Wi-Fi enabled systems, it is the responsibility of the individual to have their own Wi-Fi service. The waiver cannot cover internet or Wi-Fi services, but there are some great resources through the FCC, and I believe we have some more resources coming up that I have been hearing about through the grapevine, and when those are finalized, we'll be sharing those probably through an email blast, and we'll definitely be talking about them anytime UDAT is around. But our final slide for today is just our upcoming dates. So just a reminder that our next UDAT Lunch and Learn will be on October 11th at noon, and Shelley will be discussing more information about EAA and universal design. And then there's 2 other great webinars that are available as resources, MoDD and You, which is all about self-advocacy and our DD services and how they connect, as well as the No Wrong Door series, which is a collaboration between Missouri AT and UMKC. And No Wrong Door series usually features technologies that can be used in everyday. And so it's very, very useful. They had a great one recently all about funding, and it is the best resource I've seen about how to fund our different technologies and where to go for more funding support. So if you haven't seen that one, I would highly recommend checking it out. And that is our, sorry, I just saw something else. That is our UDAT Lunch and Learn for today. I'm glad everyone was able to join us, and I'm really glad to our two providers who were able to be here today. And of course, if you guys have any questions, always reach out to the UDAT team or check out our website. We have some great information on our DMHDD homepage, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.